What if I told you that you could start to make changes that have a massive impact to your life? And really, they're quite small. But if you commit yourself to this challenge this summer, I promise you, come autumn, you are going to feel like a whole new person and will have enjoyed a summer better than since you were a kid. Ready? Let's dive into it. You weren't made to blend in with this world. This is Heavenly Minded Home for those who see what's coming and choose faith anyways. You're not alone anymore. Subscribe, join the remnant, and let's build a heavenly minded home together. So before we get into it, be sure to hit that like button and say hello to Tony Macaroni. My seat is totally still wet. Well, the rain has stopped. I can sit outside. That's all that matters. Okay. Hey there, friends, and welcome back. I am doing my morning time outdoors. I've missed it the past couple days. It has been dumping buckets out here, raining so hard that I'm like, there's no way I can even attempt to go sit out there. And even when I sat down, it was a little more wet than I expected it to be, but that's okay. We're out here now. I'm doing my journaling, my reading, just my quiet prayer time outside, even though I slept in. And I thought we would just have a little chat because I am plotting and planning some stuff for myself, for my family, for my home. And I thought I, of course, would just bring you right along with it. So I was looking at, we are going into a new season, right? It's just about summer here. Western North Carolina is really trying to do it up because our weather dipped and it has been really cool the past few days. And then like as soon as June gets here, temperatures are going right back up. So it's like officially going to be summer here in just a little bit. We're making some changes. And I want to talk through ones that we can do that I think would be really beneficial to you, and we're going to be sharing here over the next, few months. Of course, we're getting ready to start Biblical Womanhood, and if you haven't signed up to get those details and information, the link is down in the description, so come and get that info. Join us for that series. We do it every single summer, and I love it, but I'm like, okay, Biblical Womanhood is really that deep down heart stuff for my life. I want this to be kind of a broader change, and that is our family is going to embark on an unplugged summer, okay? Now let's talk about what that means, what that looks like, things that I think you would really enjoy and you'll kind of get looking at, and then I'm gonna lead it all up to a very kind of extreme that as I've been thinking through this, I've been going, is now the time? Can we do that now? What if we just do it? What if we just use what the Lord has provided, find a way to make it happen, and go for it? And guess what? My husband said, okay, let's do it. So, friends, grab a cup of coffee. Look, I am all positive here today. Things will work out, Lord willing. He will lead the path. We will get there. Let's talk about how we unplug for the summer. All right, I'm getting serious. I even threw my hair up. That's always my family's sign to know how serious I am about what we're getting done is if my hair is still down, okay, we're enjoying. It's leisurely. If my hair goes up, we're on real talk time. I'm thinking about this, and one of you actually made a comment the other day, and talking about changes we've been making to just slow down, but be more present, be more intentional, look to the future of where is God leading me and what is going on, and am I living the best life I can live, and really slowing down, and I tell you, just coming out in the morning for the first hour of my day and no screens, no devices. I'm not checking email. I'm not looking at the news. I'm not doing anything for that first hour. Honestly, it's lasting even longer than that because I'm enjoying it so much. I'm like, I can go even longer. I'm not just getting to work first thing in the morning, which usually I would try to do. I'm coming outside. I said at least 15 minutes. I end up staying out here so much longer. And then I realize while I'm out here, I'm like, oh, well, let me just take care of this. And then later in the day, I'll be like, oh, let me go back outside again. It's been absolutely beautiful. Minus when it was dumping buckets. And then I was like waiting for any chance for the rain to stop so I could run outside. But I was thinking about this and I was like, all right, going into the summer, what if we unplugged a bit? What if we weren't so connected to all the things all the time? We see all these things of, I want a summer like the 1970s, like the 1990s, right? Depending on how old you are, there's this like nostalgic feeling of the summer we want. Why not do that? Because I think a key factor that we saw so often in, this like nostalgic 90s, 70s, whatever summer was how unplugged it was. You felt free. You felt like you could move. You felt like you could let the day kind of dictate what it was going to be. It wasn't so overwhelming. It wasn't so noisy. It wasn't so just demanding. And so I've been sitting here thinking, and I've got my little list. I'm going to read it through with you. And I want y'all to comment and let me know, A, are you in on an unplugged summer? Okay. Is this something you want to do? B, what of my list are you like, yes, that's going on mine? And C, what do you think I should have on my list that I don't? Because we're going to be talking about this stuff all summer long. So if you haven't already, subscribe, turn on the bell so that way you can see these videos as they come out. A little trick I've been sharing with everyone, because the way the algorithm has changed this year and the way it works and all of those things, excuse the really loud truck. Come on now, ruining our Unplugged Summer vibe over here. If you share this video with someone, like this video, comment on this video, watch more videos, right? If you do those things, you will train your like main YouTube page to show you the things you actually want to see. So heads up, if you like conversations like this and just kind of way of thinking of life, of just being purposeful, intentional, and living life to the fullest with what God has given you, these are the conversations we like having around here. The more you interact, the more that YouTube will show you these videos, because it's crazy. You can be subscribed to someone and like not even see the stuff they put out, which is kind of bananas. So little trick there for you. But I'm going to share with you what I have on my list, followed by the kind of extreme way our family is kicking this up a notch. So here's our list. What I think is it is important to kind of think about what an unplugged summer means to you. I'm going to tell you what it means to me and the things our family wants to do, and I will be sharing them with you as we go throughout this over the summer. But unplugged summer can look different for different people, right? We're in different seasons of life. We have different things going on, different responsibilities, whatever the case may be. What does an unplugged summer look like to you? We're going to write these things down. Hello, Lucy. Good morning. She's out here this morning. So I want you to think through that. And then these are going to be the things that just as we move through each and every week, June, July, and August, right? We are just going to be implementing these things, being diligent to these things, and really working through it. I have a feeling I will probably end up making some like free downloadable resources to go along with doing this, because as I'm writing these notes down in my little journal here, I know I'm probably going to want to have a cool little notebook or something I can put it all in. So heads up, as we continue these conversations here in the coming weeks, I'm probably going to put together some stuff that I share with you guys, because if I'm making it for me, I might as well share it with you and let you guys enjoy having a little resource as well. So here's what I have so far when I say unplugged summer. This is what, as I've really been prayerfully thinking through this is what I think my family and I need. So the first one is I want to get up a little bit earlier. I've been doing it here lately just naturally, and then my husband and I went down to Florida for a week for our anniversary, and I really wanted to get to see the sunrise over the ocean each day. And so every day I was up by 6:30, and I just loved getting to watch the sunrise so much. And so I've kind of just naturally now been waking up earlier. And so I think sometimes with summer, we end up staying up so much later just because it's brighter later. But then I kind of use that as my excuse to sleep in. I'm not staying up, incredibly late. We just usually are saying our prayers and going to bed at 9:30 at night. So we stay up a little bit later than that, you know, come summertime. And so I still want to make sure that I'm getting up earlier. I live in the South. It gets really hot. It gets really humid. It is, you know, some days in the heat of summer, it just is miserable. It's muggy. It's gross. But I kind of always kick myself because the early morning is usually that like one piece where the heat and the humidity hasn't totally set in yet. And so I want to get up and still be coming outside and doing this because I do love this so much. And in order to do that successfully, I'm going to have to continue to be getting up a little bit earlier. So that was one for me. I want to continue with no devices the first, and I'm adding on last hour of my day. So first thing in the morning, I'm not jumping on my phone. I am not going directly into the office. I'm not checking my email to see if there's anything that I have to know. I'm not flipping on the news. I'm not even jumping into YouTube or anything like that. First hour, and I'm going to do last hour, 0 devices. I am enjoying that so incredibly much. It's such a little shift. I shared in that video the other day, and I can link it at the end for you all if you haven't seen it yet. But a couple little morning shifts that I have made have been literally transforming my day. And that's why I believe that if we commit to an unplugged summer, we can transform our entire season. I really, really do. The third is, like you saw in that video the other day, we were talking about this. I want to get outside ASAP. For me, I wake up first thing in the morning, I brush my teeth, go to the restroom, rinse my face off with some water, throw a splash of makeup on. I put some mascara on, kind of wake my eyeballs up, and I get dressed. I just have a bunch of dresses usually that I grab one from the closet and throw on, and I'm up and ready in 10 minutes. I come out, make a cup of coffee, and come directly outside. I even have the house open right now, so it's like airing it out, getting some fresh air in there. I want to get outside ASAP. Getting outside first thing in the morning has been absolutely wonderful. The next thing that I want to make a intentional piece of my unplugged summer is I want to walk each and every day. That's as simple as I'm making my goal. Now, if you want to make yours super specific, right? Walk X amount, walk for X amount of time, whatever. I just want to go for a walk of some sort each and every day. If it's just up and down my driveway, if it's going to a local greenway, if it's, I'm going to be out running errands and going to a bunch of places, and so I'm going to be walking all over the place, right? Whatever it is, I want to go for a walk each and every day. My husband and I used to do this together in the mornings. Our family, we used to do this in the evening and just walk our property line. I don't care if you're just walking into your backyard and walking in a little itsy bitsy box for, 20 minutes or whatever. Get up, get moving. I want to walk every single day. The next thing is I want to give myself dedicated work windows. Now, I work from home, obviously doing YouTube. You might have an outside job. Maybe you don't have an actual, the man that you're answering to, right? You don't have a job, but you have things like paying your bills, keeping up on certain things. To think that housewives don't have jobs is ridiculous. We all have those things that we have to do. I'm saying this in a way of, for those things that I have to do, for me, it's a lot of YouTube stuff and emails, sponsorship stuff, things like that I have to do. I want to give myself a dedicated work window. If you work for someone, you probably have a dedicated work window because you work from 9 to 5 or whatever it is. I'm just saying for all of us, whatever that work window might be, I want us to set it, straight up set an alarm on your phone, right? That says, hey, work window, here it is, and stick to it. And I'm literally going to set a timer as I start it. There's even things you can get, little apps on your computer if you're working on a computer, where a timer starts and it's like, hey, this is how much time you have to get this done. And I want to do that so that way, one, I am absolutely focused. I'm not, bouncing all over the place and kind of ho-humming and, oh, okay, do a little bit of this, get distracted on that. No. I want to know what work I need to do. I want to get it done, and I want to move on with my day. I do not want to waste days and days away getting caught up on all kinds of ridiculous little intricate, work details. I want to do what I need to do, and I want to move on with my life. And so making a dedicated work window with a timer, I think is going to be absolutely important. And that is also going to be when I give my kids some dedicated screen time, looking at their screen time even, and how much time they're spending just, I'm bored, can I go do this? It's too hot, I don't want to go outside, or whatever the case may be. I want to give them a dedicated window. Hey, I'm gonna go do my screen time window. Y'all can do your screen time window. Now, obviously, mine's only gonna be like a short window. So I'm gonna really, really be serious with myself of how efficient I'm being with getting my stuff done. And so that way my kids can kind of, when I'm working, that's when they can have their time. Hi, Cleo. The cats are coming out of everywhere out here. Another thing we want to work on in our Unplugged Summer is having family reading time together. Now, part of that is going to be our family Bible reading that we do together. The other part is going to be just reading novels together as a family, even for my older kids, like me reading out loud and us going through different novels and different stories is a wonderful, wonderful way. You learn so much when you just read. Hello. You're getting your wet paws all over me. It's okay though, because you're so cute. Here. I know, you're just a sweet baby. Hello, Miss Cleo. Yes. You must have come out the window because you were curled up in my bed when I left. Yes. Hello, sweetheart. You're just such a sweet baby. You're all wet though, so it's kind of hard to... There you go. She's so sweet. So that's what I want us to be doing. Reading time together was my point. I don't know what the last thing was I was saying before I got distracted by the cat. And then I also want us kind of like, last year we did the summer reading program at our library. We'll probably do that again this year, but I really, really loved how that gave us independent reading goals. So I haven't seen our library post anything yet. I need to check on that. Our libraries took a huge hit with Hurricane Helen. Their sister branch like just now is kind of opening, and it's been almost a year. It's been like 8 months. So our library has taken a really, really hard hit. They like lost everything there, and it's been kind of wonky since the hurricane. So even if they're not able to put something together, we're going to put something together for ourselves. As I've actually been getting to read books again. My kids are great readers. They do a wonderful job, but I just want us to really continue that through the summer and read just wonderful literature. So that's something we're going to do. I want us to have dedicated like project and chore time, right? Unplugged summer doesn't just mean it's just fun all of the time. We have real things we have to do. We have big projects we're going to be working on. And so I want us to have kind of a regular time throughout our day where it's just that time. And I think in the summer, we almost have to be a little more thoughtful about that because, yeah, the heat of the day, you're not going to see me doing nothing. Like that is going to be reading time. That is going to be like playing a board game time or something like that. Like you're not going to see me out here doing all kinds of crazy stuff in the heat of the day. So I need to be a little more thoughtful and make sure that like we have a set time that the work, that the busy stuff is going to get done in. And so I'm going to set that. I want us to have weekly excursions, and that could be as simple as we are going for a hike. We are going to the river and kind of splashing around the water. Maybe there is somewhere we want to go. Maybe there's a local, museum or historical site or something that we want to go see and do. I just want to have a weekly something that we do. It can be as simple and as basic. Maybe it's going up. We are still staying half of our time up in Tennessee, caring for my aging parents. If you guys haven't seen, those updates on our YouTube channel, Aging Together Family. So that is part of it sometimes, right? Like going up there and doing those things with them, that could be part of our weekly excursions. There's a lot of things on our plate, and I know this is kind of feeling overwhelming as I'm saying it all out loud, but this is why we're going to continue to talk about this, because I think when we actually plot this together in the reality of like day by day how this works, it's a lot simpler than it's kind of looking right now as I just keep rambling things off. Last few things that I had on here: daily game time, whether that's just the kids playing together, it's all of us together as a family. We have so many great, wonderful games, and sometimes we just get busy and we get doing our own thing, and you just don't pull them out as often as you should. The kids have even found some really fun family trivia type games on the Switch or something like that? I don't even know. The kids set it up, but things like that. We have so much fun playing games together, and maybe some of them we do use a device for that, but I feel like it's still unplugged because it's us doing stuff together. It's us interacting together. It's a trivia game that we're all playing with one another. I want us to do more family game time. I want us to get outside and eat more. I want to dine al fresco. There is something so beautiful about setting out a little patio table, everybody bringing their meals out, enjoying as the evening, it's starting to cool down, and having a meal outside. I love doing that. I want more of that this summer. Of course, I still want to focus on Bible studies and church studies. So whether that's sermons you're going through with your local church or church online, doing biblical womanhood is where I'm going to be. So I'm going to, that's going to be a dedicated portion of every single day that I'm going to be working through those studies. And the last thing on my list, again, tell me which ones of these you want to use. Let me know which ones you're going to add to your Unplugged Summer list. And then I'll share more next week. We'll continue talking about this, because I know I've been talking for a while now. It seems like a lot, but I think when we put it all together in the day in and day out, it's really not. It's going to be a lot of just little micro changes that add up to a massive impact. I don't want to use, and this is something we've done for years, and so I want to keep talking about it with y'all because I think it really sets the stage. I don't want to use overhead lights in my house at night. Okay, and so that might be a really big change for your family. You might have no idea how that would even be possible. To the lights, so you go over to the wall and you flick, and then there's a light up at the top of the room and it lights everything up. Cut those out this summer. Okay, I can show you how. I promise you, it's not as crazy as you think. It is quite cozy and comforting, and changes the atmosphere of your home instantly. Okay, so that is my Unplugged Summer list. All of this adds up though to one kind of ginormous thing. So let me tell you about that. So our kind of ginormous, hello Miss Cleo, you're so cute. You are just such the loveliest thing. Our kind of ginormous thing that we are going to do. Guys, I can't even explain to you how excited I am for this. I'm just gonna tell you. I don't know how to say it. I'm like, it's so cool and it's so exciting. How do you say it? I don't know. We are going to build a cottage. Yep. Hold on, I have really upset ducks over here. Good gravy, they were so loud. I was like, I'm so excited to tell you guys, I finally got to the part I was so excited for, and you can't even hear me because the ducks are screaming their faces off. It's so funny. You would think they are literally starving to death, but they are not. Like, they're not. I promise you, they get fed multiple times each day. We have talked about this before, and it's been something that we wanted to do kind of since forever. I wanted to do kind of since forever. And that idea of like just this off-grid cabin where everything could just be the simplest thing possible. My husband was always very much like, I don't know about that. That might not be what we can do. And we've been spending half our time living up in Tennessee. Good morning, Betty. To help take care of my parents and my grandpa. My mom went through a really near, should have been fatal accident at the beginning of this year. Praise God, she is doing so much better than she should be. We've been up there and doing stuff. And one of the things that's been so neat, and I've shared that in those videos I've done over there. Look how beautiful it is today. Isn't that gorgeous back there? One of the things we've really shared is just how much I've loved in our time up there, how simple life is. We're staying at my grandfather's house that he's been trying to sell, and trust me, if we could buy his house and it would fit the needs of our family, and we could just there's so many ways in which I love it up there. Unfortunately, there's also a lot of ways in which it just would not fit our family for what our family needs. And so yes, trust me, if there was like some simple fix that we could just buy his house and live there and that would be what we needed, we would, because I do love so much about it up there. Of course, I love being close to my parents. Like, that's, having my mom across the street is by far the best piece of it. But I love how small grandpa's house is. So when I'm up there and I'm doing things and then it's up for sale, so we go and we live there, but then I have to have it ready to be shown every single day, right? I have to be able to keep it incredibly clean. It's so minimal, it's so simple, it's so kind of quirky, and it's an old house and it's just really neat the way it's done. I love it. I love that simplicity. I love that it's small. I love that it's different. It's quiet. And so the more that we've kind of been looking at this and working through this and thinking about our future and what's to come and where we're going, what our family goals are, what my husband and my goals are, and things like that, I was kind of looking at all of these different things as we kind of had one direction we wanted to go in, and then just factors around us showed that it wasn't a possibility. I'm gonna have to put those hopes and dreams on a shelf. They're not gonna happen now. Okay, Lord, got it. It is what it is. You know, what you can do. You know, I had no sense sitting around, being upset about it. It is what it is. How do we move forward? And I was looking around and I went to my husband and I said, something I have always wanted is to try living incredibly simple, to do something different. This was kind of stage one of that. And it has just been churning and churning in me that like, I'm ready for more. And I said, okay, I know we have a lot of unanswered things. I want to try to build my own cottage, our own, but like off-grid, simple, but beautiful, just unplugged cottage. And there is one piece on our property, which I'm gonna show you here in 1 second. So we're down here in our lower field with our poor barn that's falling apart, that the hurricane just totally wrecked. You see the little sheep out there grazing. Right back here in this corner is one of my favorite views. And back in here is a big mimosa tree that grows that I love. It smells so good in the summer. But this back corner is the future site of our unplugged cottage. A lot of work to be done, going as far away as we possibly can to the furthest side of the property. That is where we are planning to unplug and head down to as we try out a new season of life. It's down by my sheep. We've got the creek below it. We've got a spring over here. It's gorgeous. I was hoping that I would have already gotten to get started on it, but then like I said, it has been dumping buckets around here. So the ground is so saturated. At least it's finally stopped, so we can start coming out and being like, okay, how do we do this? Here's the pieces I'm working with. And of course, I'm gonna film all this for you all. And I don't think that wanting to unplug, live simply, live more just intentionally requires you to build a cottage in the middle of nowhere and live disconnected from everything. I don't think that's the answer. I really don't. But I think that as we might be going through this process of building it and then transitioning to it this summer, there's gonna be a lot of life lessons that we're probably all gonna learn throughout the process. And that's why I'm excited to share it with you all. We have like no budget to go off of for this. One thing my brother has been doing for me since Hurricane Helen is he's been collecting pallets. I can build a cottage out of free pallets. Let's try that. Let's do that. And so we have a spot picked out. I have a good start on pallets. I'm sure it's probably not gonna be enough because once you start putting them together, you're like, oh man, this is not enough. So my brother has already been tasked with find me more pallets. I want this cottage to be simple. I want it to use as many recycled materials as we can possibly find. I don't have like a set budget to make it work. My husband and I have never built a structure, okay? We've screwed together a few pallets and made like a fence, but that's it. So we've never made a structure at all. I want it to be light, like I want it to have a lot of light coming through. I need to find a way to keep it cool, to be able to have good airflow and things like that, because it's gonna be totally unplugged. I'm not gonna have obviously an air conditioner running, and we don't even have like central air and heating in our house. So I'm certainly not gonna have that obviously down here. I need to find a way to, build a little space for our family, to build a little kitchen for our family, right? To do all of the different pieces and things. So I know it's gonna be a process, but we're just gonna go for it. As I'm talking about unplugging, we're talking about doing all these things. It was like, we have the space at the moment, right? I don't know what tomorrow holds, but at the moment we do. Why not start trying this? Maybe we'll learn something through it. Maybe we'll learn that like that is where we want to be. Maybe we'll learn that it is lovely, it is romanticized. Sometimes as a little getaway, it's great, but it's not what our family can actually do all around. I don't know. And that's why I'm gonna film it. I'm gonna share it with you. We're gonna figure that out. As the world continues to get crazier, as prices continue to rise, housing gets more and more just unaffordable. There's so much uncertainty. There's all of these different things. Again, 1 Thessalonians 4:11-12. How do I live a quiet life? How do I work with my own hands? How do I go about these things focused on what I have right here in front of me, leaning into that like old-fashioned wisdom while being more prepared, being more self-sufficient, sustaining our need in a way that isn't so reliant on the systems of this world? Because if they've shown us anything, it's that we shouldn't be putting all of our eggs in that basket. I want to unplug this summer, and all those things we just talked about, those are ways in which I'm like, okay, how do we put this together? I think these are important pieces. Now I got to work my pieces together, and that's where I'm probably going to end up creating some sort of thing that I'll share with you guys that can like contain all of that. But then we're going to come down here. The rain has stopped. We're going to start building. And Lord willing, this might be the first step into some really big changes for our family. I don't know, but we have to be willing to try. And this has been something that has been laid on my heart for so long, for whatever reason. I want to try it. Even if it all falls apart and it doesn't work out at all how I thought it should, at least I can say I tried. I'm willing. Let's try to build something with our own hands. Let's try to use it, right? Like, can we live out of this? Can we do this? One of the things we learned so much about the time after Hurricane Helen, when everything was gone, no power, no running water, no internet, obviously, right? No access to things, having to adjust to full off-grid living. Sure, was it difficult in many ways? Yeah. Were we not prepared for it? 1,000%. There were so many areas of it that we enjoyed. There were so many things that, like, hindsight being 2020, I was like, man, that was a really fun time. Not fun time in the way of like the catastrophe, but in the way that we pulled together and we made it work, and we lifted one another up, and we found the silver lining, and we kept that going. That ability to pull together, to work together, to just slow down, be present, be focused on the things that needed to be focused on. We really enjoyed that. And I kept saying when the power finally came back on, man, I don't want to lose sight of this. We can lose power again. We can lose access to things again. Like, all these things can happen again. I don't want to lose this intentionality, this ability to pull together and to do things not reliant on the systems that we've gotten so accustomed to. I think convenience is really killing us. The idol of comfort is rooted so deeply in probably all of us, to be honest, myself included. And so I want to try something out and start to remove myself a little bit from that. And it starts with an unplugged summer, right? It starts with shutting my phone off and not just letting screens dictate my day. It starts with intentionally unplugging from different areas in different ways and going, you know what? Maybe I need to distance myself a little bit from that. And then for me, I'm going to kick it up a notch. I'm going to take these palettes. I'm going to take some odds and ends and some different things that we're collecting. You know, I'm checking out like Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist. Anybody who's got like things that they're getting rid of, I'm like, you know what? We'll go pick that up. We'll add it to our pile here and build in a little cottage. Unplugged cottage for our summer. That's what we're starting with. And I don't know where it's going to go. I have no idea, but I'm going to bring you guys along with me. We're going to see where the Lord leads it all. So, cannot wait to see what you guys think. Do you think I'm totally crazy? Are you super excited to see my little cottage? I'm already like researching and putting together all kinds of ideas and things like that, kind of thinking how we can make this work. I've been focusing on that the past few days because it's been so rainy. Now that the rain has stopped, we're going to get down here and we're going to start seeing what happens, seeing how this works. So I'm very excited for that. Again, sign up for Biblical Womanhood down below. We're getting ready to start that. Subscribe, like, comment. I've asked you lots of questions and I want your input, so please let me know your answers. Share this with someone that could use an unplugged summer as well, so we can continue working through these things. If you want to see more about, again, the what kind of kicked all of this off with this shift to my morning, watch this video right up here. And this is really like a big kickoff point to now the whole unplugged summer that we are going to go into, Lord willing, giving him the glory and the praise for all of it. I'll see you all right back here in the next one. Bye, friends.